So here's what you told me about. One is you have a product business. We didn't talk too much about that.
Yeah.
But the bulk of your income comes from freelancing, but that's consuming all of your time. Here's what I wrote down in terms of your wants. What you want to do is have more time. That's the most important thing that you want. To have free time is everything because you can focus on different businesses. You can think about new things that you can create. You can spend time with your family, and I see that in your videos too.
Yeah.
And you want to basically move away from the guy on the box and be paid to be a consultant, to be paid for thinking. So you want to be paid for the high level stuff, and there's some challenges there. You want to also build a passive income business model through this productized business thing that you're developing, right?
Right.
And right now you don't have enough time to do that. This is the dream of all creatives, is to do something once really well and to make money from it for the rest of your life. And it's a wonderful dream to have, and it's not a dream if you know how to do it. And lastly, we mentioned a little bit about the YouTube channel, that at some point the YouTube channel, depending on your life ambitions, can exceed all other things, including the product business that you're building. Who knows? Or at least it can support and complement the other things that you're doing. That's what I heard, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Perfect.
Now, if you had to, and play along with me here, because I'm going to treat you like a client right now to teach you, in essence, so there's going to be this whole meta thing, right?
All right.
To teach you how I do what I do so that we can go away from hourly rates. Now, I'm going to ask you to define what success looks like for free time. How many hours do you want to be working on or in your business a week? And when that would look like, yes, I feel like I have more of my free time back.
So right now, how I thought about this is I've divided my week into like 10 chunks. So every day there's like morning session and afternoon session. So there's 10 chunks at the moment.
I see.
And right now, my product business is getting about one chunk. So like half a day per week. But I want it to be at least 5 chunks, like half of my week at least.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's a great. So how many hours do those 10 chunks represent a week? A normal work week in America is like 40 hours. So when somebody's telling me they're working 80 hours, I know they're
No, so
hustling,
let's
right?
do like 6 times 5, 30 hours.
30 hours. So you're working roughly about 30 hours a week.
Yeah.
You're making $200,000 a year, which is fantastic. You're doing really well for
Aiming
yourself.
for
So-
300 this year. Looking
Right,
good.
right. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. It's actually not as hard as you might think. You're gonna get there, and you'll probably shoot past that actually. Now, I'm looking at this 30 hours. So you only want to work 15 hours a week then? Like in your ideal scenario, you're only gonna work 15 hours a week. You're gonna make $300,000, so you have all this free time.
Exactly.
Is that the
Yeah,
state?
that's a
Okay,
good
perfect.
calculation.
I just want to know
Yeah.
that. Right. If you can really focus on your product business, how much money do you think that can generate for you annually? If you were really building it the way it's supposed to.
My goal is to make like a multi-million-dollar business out of it. Like, and this is a really long-term play for me.
Right.
I want to build a team around it. I think we can create a
Sure.
great brand, a great product. This is like a recurring revenue model, so it can generate a lot of money, I think.
I think
it
so
takes
too.
a
So let's
while.
put a timeline.
Yeah.
Yes. So let's put a timeline on this. Say in the next 3 years. What kind of if you're doing what you're doing at the end of the 3 years, how much money is this pulling in annually for you?
Yeah, I just thought today about 5 years, and I think that 5 years, I was thinking about 300K monthly, so that's got to be like around
Wow.
4 million, maybe.
Yeah, 4 million.
With
Okay.
with a team of around maybe 10 people.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that.
So typically at this point now, I want to talk to you about if I'm able to, and I believe I can. I believe I can get you there on all these fronts. But let's just say, let's go down one at a time. Let's assign a value to each one of these if we can.
Okay.
So if you're able to cut your work time from 30 to 15, how much value is that? Like, how much is that worth to you?
It's really hard to quantify it. Like,
Well,
because
I can help you.
obviously I'm not losing money because I'm making the same amount of money. I'm just making a lot more time. And now, but this time is an investment, right? Because I'm not sure it's going to pay itself back this year. So, but I think it's a long-term investment. And so I don't know.
Yeah.
It's in the tenth of thousands of dollars for sure.
No, I think it's worth more than that. Let me help
Yeah?
you figure it
All
out.
right.
Watch this.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna hit $300,000 this year.
Yeah.
So if you had to work half the time, then you've already saved $150,000. So I'm going to put $150,000 value on that right now. I'm not saying I'm going to charge you that, but I'm saying,
Wait. How did you come up with this number?
watch this. If it takes you 30 hours to earn $300,000 a year, if for whatever reason I could like wave a magic wand or a genie comes out and you only have to work half the time, you've done twice as much work in half the time, right?
Yeah.
So that means that I've saved you 150.
Yeah.
It's worth
Okay.
$150,000.
Okay,
You just
okay.
take the half, right?
Okay, good.
That makes sense. That's
Yeah.
reasonable, right?
Amazing, yeah.
So $150,000. Now here's the beautiful part. That's just year one. Year two, year three, year
That's
four.
true.
This is just something that keeps paying itself up. But I just want to focus on the first year.
Awesome.
All right. Now that you're getting your hands out of doing the making stuff, if we can figure out how to build a team around you, a process, and systematize all that stuff. So you just go in, you parachute in really just to do the critical thinking work. How much would that be worth to you on an emotional level? What kind of price tag would you put on that?
Again, I want to understand the question specifically. So
Yeah.
it's how much would it be worth if I, like, in my freelance business or in my product business? In my freelance business, to just come
In your freelance business.
do the
Yeah.
do the sale, do the
Yeah. All the
client
high-level
management,
thinking
all the
stuff.
high level
Yeah.
thinking.
Yeah.
Ah man, that would be amazing.
Wouldn't it? Look, if I could say, I'm going to build a team around you,
Yeah.
and if I had to fly there and manage your team and coach them for 3 months or 6 months or whatever it took, so I'm going to say to them, you guys don't bother Ron about any of this stuff. He's going to run it, and we want to make sure he knows where he needs to be, that he's prepped for his meetings, and then as soon as he finishes doing what he wants to do, we collect all that data and we handhold the client and deliver it with just impeccable delivery. Smooth customer service. If I could do that for you, what would that be worth to you?
A lot. Yeah. A lot.
I think so.
Yeah.
Let's just put a number on it. We're playing a game, so let's just put a number on it.
Yeah.
What do you think?
That I think it's either the same amount or more because it's like
Yeah, I think
making
so.
my business an autopilot and just keeping all the fun part.
You do all the best things that you
Yeah.
want to do, none of the garbage. All right.
Yeah.
So that's how we began. And then I have a plan. Now I'm going to teach you some of these things right now. So this is the first part. So when you're dealing with your client, I want you to try to surface the desired future state.
Yeah.
Don't go too far out because then it gets too dreamy, right?
Yeah.
And then that's a pie in the sky. So somewhere between 2 to 5 years seems to work.
All right. So you think I need to hit $500 per hour before I do my first hire, or I should?
No, I don't.
I should.
I think this is part of the plan, okay?
All right.
So it's a complex thing, and I'm trying to disseminate a ton of information for you
Yeah.
really, really fast. So I just want to go over high-level concepts, and we can drill down at some other point in time.
All
I
right.
honestly think you should be moving towards like a project-based thing so that we're not measuring time anymore.
Yeah.
We're not selling time as a freelancer, okay? We're going to sell what Blair calls, the first type is called input, which is selling time. How much time that I input into this project is how much it's going to cost. The second way of bidding and estimating projects is selling outputs.
Yeah.
So we don't care how many hours or how many people get involved in the thing.
Yeah.
We only care that the product at the end is what we've asked for in the time that we've asked for it.
Yeah.
So then you can learn to run your company the way you want. And now what we want to do is we want to start to assign a higher dollar value to the output.
Yeah. That also means that I'll have to change a little bit kind of the types of projects that I'm taking because some of them are to kind of help a team on a process, on an ongoing product development. And so there isn't like a fixed outcome. It's an ongoing process. But yeah, maybe I have to change some clients.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's possible.
So are you selling like sprint cycles? So each sprint is completed and then there's a dollar amount and then
Not
you
really.
do the next
Not
cycle?
really. Perhaps that's a good
Okay.
thing to do. I'm considering.
It might be.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different models here,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So you can sell like a 2 or 3 week sprint
Yeah.
that we define what done looks like, the MVP, and then you just use your team to run the project.
Yeah.
And here's the most amazing thing. We're not even talking about the feeling that a person gets by helping to teach another human being and giving them something that's going to help them for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
So you might find some young able-bodied woman or man who comes in and is like, Ron, I believe everything you're doing, and I want to like buy all into this, and I just want to learn from you. And so then as you see them grow and blossom, you're like a proud father now to this other person. And if you get hit by a truck tomorrow, that person's life is improved forever, and they're going to be able to find a way to sustain themselves and to take care of their loved ones and a family that may or may not come in the future. And that's a pretty amazing feeling.
Yeah,
and
it's true.
I don't want to get all economics and accounting on this, but there's a value to that too.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, man. Take care. Bye.